Hello, guys. How we doing? Welcome to the West Ham World. First podcast of the new season. The Julian Lopetegui era has officially started. I'm sure me and Paul have got a lot to talk about during the game. You've heard my quick review that I did yesterday, and I did say I would hold stuff back because me and Paul will talk about it. So let's start, Paul. I tell you what, we'll start with a positive. We'll do the negatives later because I think it's fair. You know, it is new. He's a new manager. Yeah, go on, mate. What positives do you take out of it, and then we'll talk negatives later.
Honestly, mate, for me there was quite a few. There's quite a few. I see loads of people jumping on it already, but for me there was plenty of positives to take away. First of all, just from a purely forget about we all watched the game and for me the first half hour was shocking, but we won't talk about that just yet.
Yeah, we'll do that.
After that, I think we looked decent. I think you could see shoots of what we're going to try and do. If you look at the match stats at the end of the match, we had pretty much exactly the same number of shots on target. We had slightly more possession. We had a higher expected goals. We had much more passes. We had more passes in the opposition's final third. And you compare those stats. If this was David Moyes playing against this Aston Villa team, we would have had about 20% less possession. We would have had probably about 10 less shots. There's progression there. There is. It didn't work out, but there's progression there. You can see it. And I think if you look at the new signings, obviously, so Rodriguez started. I think once he started getting used to the game, I think when he sort of grew into it, I think he looked fine. I think he did well. He's a bit slow.
I think a lot of people have said that he looked a bit slow, but like you say, he did grow into the game.
He definitely grew into the game. I think Kilman was excellent. And I was a bit worried about him.
I thought he was excellent.
Yeah, I was a bit worried about him pre-season. And then, like as I say, first half hour, I was like, oh God. But he was excellent for the rest of the game. I thought Mavropanos had a really good game as well. Somerville came on.
He looked really good.
Excellent.
He looked really good when he came on.
Sharp. He looked exciting. Kudus was the best player on the pitch. By an absolute
mile. Without a doubt.
By an absolute mile, best player on the pitch. And a lot of people were worried about him playing on the left. I thought he looked great. The only thing about him playing on the left,
I thought he was better on the right, though. I thought once he went onto the right, the second half, he could cut in. He'd go in amazing runs, didn't he?
That's the only difference, I think, because when he was on the left, he had Cash all over the place. He did not know what to do with him, and he beat him every single time. But you're taking away that threat then of when he does beat his man, cutting in and having a shot. He didn't have that on the left, but I think he did really well. Too hard to say when you're looking at the likes of Fulkrug. He didn't really have anything to do the time he was on. I think Todibo looked really good when he came on. I think you can tell.
Yeah. He played a really good pass first thing. He looked big. I know, again, it was only, 10 minutes I think he was on. But I get exactly what you're saying. You could see it's like, he's going to be a bit of a... bit of a player.
You can tell he's got class. So for me, mate, honestly, there were a lot of positives. There were a lot of positives, and we were literally, if it had fallen to anyone else on the pitch, maybe. But even then, I would have expected Souček because he scored some good goals. If he puts that one in the last chance of the game, we'd come away with a draw.
Mate. I think it was a fairly even game. After that first half hour, which we're going to talk about in a minute. I think we were in it. We had some really good chances. Obviously, the Danny Ings header, the Souček one, as you said. Don't get me wrong. If they would have finished their chances, the one where he rounded the goalkeeper and I think hit the post, didn't he? That Rodgers, that could have been out of sight. Then
I think that was Bailey. But
one of the two. I can't remember. But there's something there. But let's move on to the negatives because there's quite a lot still there, and I think like this comment here sort of sums it up a little bit for me. Well, we need to shift on the Moyes remnants, and I think that's where it starts. When that lineup came out, I looked just like, I knew Thomas Souček was going to play, but it was like, for God's sake, so far he's done. For me, he's done. It gives me Zabaleta vibes, towards the end of Zabaleta's career, and Zabaleta was fantastic, one of the best right backs ever play in the league. But Wan-Bissaka has to start next week.
Yeah,
has to. Obviously, a target area for the team. It used to be Cresswell was the target on the left. Southal's a target on the right now. Thomas Souček can't play football, and Mikel Antonio has got trampoline feet. Like he cannot control a football. And it looked at times we were going long. It looked at times that they sort of went back into their mould of David Moyes of, we better sit back. We can't take too many gambles. Go on, mate. Your floor now. Go on.
Absolutely everything you just said, mate. Everything you just said, completely spot on. Agree with every word, mate. Like you say, the lineup come out. I was very disappointed, and I said, you know, one of my mates said, well, at least you've got a good bench. You know, they can all come on the second half. And I said to him, then we'd be 3-0 down by then.
Yeah, too late.
Yeah, and we easily could have been 3-0 down by then. Starting the same defence that conceded nearly 90 goals in all competitions last year, to me, was madness. I understand partly why he did it. You know, he wants to give these guys a chance, maybe to keep the shirt, to keep them motivated. You know, maybe like some of the other players, the likes of Bowen has only been back for 2 weeks. Fulkrug only joined last week. You know,
yeah, Bowen did look sharp yesterday. Bowen had an off game yesterday.
Yeah, Wan-Bissaka, you know, they haven't been with the team long enough, so I didn't like the lineup, but I can understand why he did it.
Yeah, no, I do, yeah.
But yeah, I you know, I didn't like it, and I was worried as soon as I saw it. And yeah, it was this. That's the biggest thing for that first half hour, and I'm really trying to be as positive a mindset as possible, and I'm gonna put positive spins on everything in this video, just so you know.
No, mate, but fair enough what you do, but I think look at it as an individual game, so not as the whole Lopetegui experience.
I think the problem is it's difficult to do that because the first half hour we were absolutely shocking. We got completely overrun. Our defense was non-existent. They were literally just walking through us, and we dropped back. And like you said, mate, I think that you know this team and these players have had 4 years of that being ingrained into them.
It needs to be coached out of them. It needs to be coached out of them.
For the last 4 years. This is how you play. And you could see it. You could see that, you know, they just sort of reverted to type. And this is, I said to you in a text message, this is the argument for just throwing the new signings in, is they haven't got that ingrained in them. They haven't got that Moyes drop back, sit back ingrained in them for the last 4 years, which is going to be hard to coach out of players. But yeah, Souček, horrific. For a central midfielder, I saw a stat. I think he completed 10 passes. That's disgusting.
Exactly. And if we want to play this passing style, you can't play it with him.
No, absolutely disgusting. Yeah, and you see...
Sorry, mate, I was going to say, I'm guilty of it. The Celta Vigo game, it was like, Souček, he played 15 good passes that game. That's what he should be doing. Like, we get excited when he's done 15 good passes or maybe sprayed a good one out wide. That's so rare.
Yeah, it's not good enough. You know, it's not good enough. And you know, the first goal, awful. 3 minutes in, he just kicked the ball out of play under no pressure. I don't know what he was doing. He just kicked the ball straight out. They get a corner. We didn't defend it. Antonio just stood there again. Like you say, Antonio's finished. He should be playing in League One.
He's finished.
He's absolutely finished.
And I know we'll get pelters for it, and I know there'll be comments going, you can't pick on Antonio, he's a legend. He's done. He should not be starting for West Ham. Listen, I thank him for what he's done. He seems like a good bloke, he seems funny, he seems like all that in the changing room, but got to be ruthless. He cannot be West Ham starting striker in 2024. No. It can't be anymore.
Exactly, he's done. He's absolutely done. And yeah, it was those Souček and Antonio. Antonio was horrific, absolutely shocking. Soufal was a weird one for me because I can only imagine it was instruction, but he kept coming inside, so far inside, and he left so much space on the wing for them to run into and cross.
Yeah,
and that's, you know, where the second goal come from. I don't know. It must have been instruction for him to play that narrow, but surely, but that and Bowen had a really quiet game. Bowen was anonymous, but at times Bowen was behind Soufal covering because Soufal wasn't there.
And that makes you think, have we brought in Wan-Bissaka purely so it frees Bowen up to not do that anymore?
I think
he won't have to do that.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not just going to sit and dig out the players that are obvious, you know, the Soufal subject. Paquetá was terrible. He just, you know, apart from a penalty, he didn't do anything. He didn't really get on the ball. He weren't trying to look for the passes. We missed Alvarez though, don't we? We do miss him in there. He was so vital last year to everything we did. He's the fire. He's the firefighter. He stops everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Rodriguez, like I said, I think he grew into the game well, but he looked like
it's going to take him a few weeks to get that speed up.
It's going to take him a while, and he looked like he needed help in that centre midfield. Like you say, Paqueta was dropping deep. To be fair to Paqueta, I think Onana did a really good job of marking him out.
Yeah, he had a good game, to be fair.
Onana basically just sat on Paqueta. That's what he did. He just sat on Paqueta and stopped him from playing. And because of that, Paqueta kept coming deeper and deeper and deeper. So I think to be fair to Paqueta, but he didn't have the best game, obviously, though he scored the penalty. But with Souček next to Rodriguez, he was
exactly. Yeah.
You
put Alvarez next to him, all of a sudden, you've got that man next to you, and you're not thinking, "Oh, if I pass it to him, is he going to move it around?" And not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One other thing I was going to say about there's a couple of things actually, because I have to talk about obviously their goal and what that might mean now. But let's talk about the substitutions from Lopetegui. As Clarence Boo says, his worst nightmare happened. They put Jedwood back in midfield, Souček and James Ward-Prowse. As soon as that happens, it's going to go crap, don't you?
You do, but the problem is what else could he have done? I don't mind the substitutions. I really don't. So Paqueta coming off, you just said yourself, Paqueta didn't have a good game.
No.
He was on a
yellow
card.
Why does Souček stay on?
So I think Souček stayed on purely to try and deal with Onana, because Souček was the only player tall enough to get near him. Genuinely, I think that's the only reason he stayed on the pitch, because otherwise Onana's just walking around in the box doing whatever he wants. But Paqueta, completely understand him coming off. Like you say, weren't having the best game. He was on a yellow card. You know what he's like. He's an accident waiting to happen.
Maybe the early yellow card actually killed him a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe that's a fair point.
Bowen coming off, no issues with that at all. And I actually really like that sub, because
I do.
No one's untouchable.
No, I do as well. I agree with that.
Yeah, the fact that he's just made him captain, and like you say, Bowen didn't have a good game. He was completely anonymous, to be honest. He hasn't had a full preseason. He's only just back, to be fair to him. But I like that he took him off, because he weren't playing well. And it shows him, listen, mate, just because I made you captain, just because you're the best player, you're the star man, you're the talisman, don't mean you're invincible. I really like that. That's a message.
Yeah, no.
The manager.
I think that I agree with that. I think that's a fair point. Yeah, really, and we know Bowen will get better. We know Bowen.
Yeah, of course he will. Of course he will. Yeah, once he's had a few more weeks, training, of course he will get better.
Yeah.
You couldn't bring off Kudus. He was the best player on the pitch. So I don't mind that. Somerville came on, looked really good. Antonio had to come off. Obviously, Fulkrug comes in. No issues with the subs, mate, for me. None. And I'm sure I saw someone in the comments say it. Sorry, I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I'm going to go for comments in a minute.
I would have bought on Wan-Bissaka. I would have bought him on. I probably would have bought him on instead of Todibo. I know he bought on Todibo to go free at the back, which is, fair enough. But yeah, I think I would have bought on Wan-Bissaka earlier to take Sufo out, because he was just getting targeted. But like I say, mate, for me, I've got no issues with the subs. No issues at all. My only issue is some of the subs should have started. That's my issue.
Yeah. I think that's a fair point. Let's talk about their goal then. Not Onana's goal, not the penalty. Is it more anything? If you're going to describe the West Ham way, that's exactly it, isn't it? Any player we're linked with, and Gonzo said it actually, it was a double whammy, because Onana obviously was linked with us for a couple of years. He scored, and then John Duran was always scoring, mate. And I know you won money from it as well, but because it was such a banker. It was a banker.
Yeah, mate. It was someone said to me yesterday. It was an awful day emotionally, but it was an excellent day for my bank balance. Yeah, Duran absolutely nailed on. I should have put my mortgage on it. Paqueta to get booked, that was free money.
Yeah, that's free money. Yeah, once Alvarez comes back, that's a double.
Yeah, it was written, mate. It was written. Every single West Ham fan it was a good goal, and he looked
really well.
The frustrating thing is, he looked everything that we need. He does
100%. Yeah. Apparently, I was watching a video just before going live. So Nick on Claret and Booze has got contacts, you know, sort of he's in the nose, and he was saying that he spoke to his in the know this morning, and apparently Villa are still prepared to sell him for 40 million for West Ham. Mate, West Ham, go get him. Go get him now.
I will put that money on the table today. 100%.
Now, go get him. Go get him.
Yeah.
Because apparently what has been said, again, how much you believe, I don't know. Nick's usually quite reliable. He said that his sources said that Duran has basically said, I'll still come, but you've got to do it the right way now. I will not talk to you anymore until a bid's been accepted. Mate, get it done. Get it done. This geezer's potential superstar. Yeah. He is. He's potential superstar. He can finish. His touch is better than Antonio. He's more mobile.
He was all over the pitch. Yeah, they showed a heat map at the end of the game, and he was all over the pitch. You know, he is.
He's hungry. He's young, and he's angry.
He's everything that we need as a striker. And I've seen a lot of people saying, to be fair, I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, how will we link with him?" And then we sign Fulkrug, two completely different players. Personally, I think the plan was always to get both.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Fulkrug maybe it was a little bit of us playing games, but I also think it was part of the thing, because I think they hoped to get Antonio out. They thought that Ings may be going, and they would look into they probably would have been happy with Bowen, Fulkrug, and Duran. Do you think it will still happen?
After yesterday,
no,
I do. If that's true, excuse me, if that's true, and they are prepared to sell him, I think we get it done, because I don't know how much better of an audition he could have had. If we wanted him before, we must want him even more now. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. The problem is, it may now be the fact that we do have to get players out before he can come in. You know, a Souček may have to be sold or whatever. A Gerd, I don't think a Gerd's going to stay. I think a Gerd may go. The fact that Mavropanos started yesterday and Torpedo's there, I think a Gerd potentially goes. And obviously we'll link with Carlos Soler as well, which would, again, we'll wait and see.
I think that will happen. I think, for me personally, I've seen from the in the know rumblings that it's two more to come in, and I think
it's got to be John Duran.
I think it'll be for me, if it's Soler and Duran, brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
And if it's not Duran, it needs to be another striker. I don't think we will be as successful as we thought we may be without getting another striker in. Antonio's done. He's finished. He's absolutely finished. He's finished, mate. So out of 10, mate, how do you rate the first sort of game of J-Lo?
In isolation.
Just in isolation, yeah.
Just in isolation, that game, if I'm going to try and completely be objective, just watching that game, it's a 6 for me. 6 out of 10.
Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah, I'd say 6, 7. Because there were some patches there, but yeah, there's still, like I said, there's a lot of coaching that still needs to be done.
Yeah, and it's going to take time, and that's the biggest thing. I don't think he's in the chat today, but our mate Bowden, I was talking to him straight after the game. He was at the game, and he texted me straight after saying, "Oh, I hope everyone who was slagging off Moyes is doing the same now to Lopetegui." It's like, mate, it's been one game. It's been one game. You can't expect it to be perfect after one game. Listen, I'm going to give him a lot of leeway. I'm going to give him a lot of patience. That will go if he starts the same team against Palace. Then
we're going to talk about.
Yeah, then he'll start losing me.
We'll talk about the Palace game in a minute. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, after 5-10 games, if we still look bad, I'll start giving him stick. But until then,
you're not seeing Antonio, Souček, and Soufal in the team.
Yeah, then I'll start getting him stick. But until then, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to stick my foot in after one game.
To be fair to him as well, mate, he's still working out what his best 11 is. Yeah. You know, he's brought in so many players.
Oh, he's still. There he is. There he is. Yeah. I want to argue with you again today, Dan.
Right, let's go. Before we move on to a different topic, I'm going to go in the comments now, mate, and we can sort of go back on them. I like the fact he was not afraid to make subs, taking off Bowen and Paquetá, who were poor. Yeah, Paul did say that. I agree with you too, mate. Colin Shivers says cannot play Paquetá, Kudus and Paquetá together in that system. If Somerville plays, Pity we needed someone like Fofana, a monster and an engine. Yeah, definitely. So, someone in that midfield who's a real, like a Diarmi, even a Sheikh Kouyaté, just someone who's a real presence in that midfield. But yeah, what do you make of that bit about Paquetá and Kudus can't play together in that system?
I think if he's adding Somerville in there, I kind of understand. I don't know how we fit unless Bowen plays up front. I don't know how we fit Somerville, Kudus, Paquetá, and Bowen in the same team.
The thing is, the way Somerville, when he came on, mate, he looks like maybe in a couple of weeks, mate, he'll be starting.
I think so. Yeah,
because he looked
sharp. He looked on
really,
it.
Yeah, he can move left and right. He looked exciting, and he nearly set up a goal as well, didn't he? With a cross to Ings. Too many players have been moist. Why didn't Aaron Wan-Bissaka come on? He only played for United last week. Apparently, he did have a slight knock. But yeah, me and Paul will talk about Palace and how we think, what we think. Colin, he just needed to move them around. Absolutely no change from last season. If Loppy couldn't get his way across before Vils, then why did we only have 4 friendlies over the summer? Aaron Wan-Bissaka should have been straight thrown in. I'll let you have that, mate.
So, first of all, why did we only have 4 friendlies? I completely agree with that part. Going off to America, ridiculous, disaster. We had a terrible preseason. It was all over the place, badly managed. I don't know what we're doing in America. If we were trying to appeal to a new fan base over there, most of the games had about 25 people watching. It was crap. It was useless. But come on, mate, no change from last season. Really? You didn't see anything in that game that was different from last season? Really? Come on, mate.
Yeah. No, there was some. West Ham massive. Good afternoon, chaps. On my way to Amsterdam, I think we need to get Duran in. I'd have rather spent 40 million on him than 27 million on Fulkrug. Fulkrug will be okay, but Duran is much more dynamic. I agree, mate.
That's what I was saying. I genuinely don't believe that it's that we got Fulkrug because we didn't get Duran. I genuinely believe it was always the plan to get 2 strikers, 2 different types of strikers, and I think that's still the plan. I don't think we got Fulkrug instead of Duran. I genuinely don't. Listen, no, if we did, absolute disaster, and I don't know what we were doing, but I don't think so. I think it was always the plan to get 2.
Do you think, again, it's a really harsh comment I'm going to say, do you think the Gilham one is a gamble that should have potentially been taken later in the window and Duran maybe should have been done first?
I mean, I don't know. You don't know what went on behind the scenes. You don't know
because he weren't on the bench yesterday.
He weren't on the bench, and you don't know if that had any impact. You don't know if it was. I mean, you've been saying it for weeks, mate. That maybe Villa didn't want to sell Duran to us before the game. You don't know. You don't know. But yeah, the Gilman one's a weird one because we did pay a lot of money for him.
But it's a lot of money for West Ham. It's a lot of money for West Ham to buy a player that not even on the bench. Come on.
So that's kind of weird. I expected him to be in the first team picture. Again, maybe it's one of those where, if we do shift a couple of players, if Antonio Ings goes, that frees up the space in the squad. It's a weird. I'm interested to see what we do with him because he's done it. He's what? How old is he? 18?
He's only a pup. Yeah, he's only a pup.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that. I'm not saying it's a mistake buying him. I'm just saying, is it a mistake buying him before we thought that if the funds are as limited now as we're saying? Yeah, but I expect him to play against Bournemouth in the cup game in a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, it was just heard it on another channel. I thought interesting. Best new signing for me was Somerville as he reignited our front line. Must start next week. So check Antonio on the bench ASAP. I think so, and that's. Again, people are going to accuse us, and I think a lot of channels are going to get accused of this year of you scapegoating Antonio, you scapegoating Souček. Give me some positives then. Give me some positives as why they're awful, that they're not good enough anymore. They're not. He's 34 years old, Antonio.
Yeah. Antonio, if you want positives, Antonio held the ball up once.
And laid off Bowen, that was it, I think.
That I can remember. That pass to Bowen, it was 10 yards over it.
Yeah.
But he held the ball up once. That's the only positive for Antonio. Souček won the penalty. That was it in 90 minutes of football. And he should have scored in the last attack and he missed a goal that I think I would have scored. But yeah.
We all knew Duran would be hungry like a wild and get the winner. Yeah, it's just like the Lingard one, wasn't it?
I backed it, mate.
But, yeah. Kudus went missing for periods in the first half. Second half, he was our best player. Yeah, again, I don't think he fully works on the left. I know Paul said he didn't mind it. I think he is better on the right. He loves to cut in points, mate. There was a point I think where 3 players were around him. He fell over and he still managed to keep the ball and get out of it. It was ridiculous. You know, like one of those moments.
What about that little Rabona cross as well?
Yeah, the Rabona cross, like Payet visions just come back in my head.
And that's another one that Souček should have scored as well. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. What a player. But yeah, you're right. And I think again, where he went missing, I think in that first half hour, the entire team was awful. There weren't a single positive. That first half hour was absolutely horrific.
They looked like strangers.
Yeah, but after that, you know, we got out, we started to settle down, and then yeah, there's no doubt about it. He was the best player on the pitch.
Next team, injuries permitting, I'd like to see Wan-Bissaka, Tobido, Somerville introduced. If we get in Duran, if not, well, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. If anyone is concerned that Souček not only started but got the armband once Bowen got Shepherd and played 90 minutes, yeah. I don't know, mate. Someone said we used to fear that he had naked pictures of David Moyes. Now I'm starting to think he's got naked pictures of David Sullivan, mate. Because Lopetegui's playing him as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's got to go though now. So surprised not to see Potts even on the bench. Very concerning reference to Souček. The Brazilian not even on the bench either, nor a Gerd on his way. I think a Gerd would be on his way out. Where was Gilham? I don't know, mate. Bowen will look better once he's got behind him. He can't trust the defence. It always takes Bowen a few weeks to get going anyway, and then he gets his first goal, and then he goes on them little runs, doesn't he, where he just looks ridiculous. Need to get rid of the deadwood. It's not problem with that, Duncan, mate. We'd all say that. People don't want the players. You want to sell. You know, they are the hardest people to get rid of. That's the problem. It was my recollection that Adam Onana rejected us because Moyes didn't assure him playing time. Yeah, that, and I think Everton give him a little bit more money a week as well.
But that
he's exactly what we need as well.
To give Moyes some credit there, like you can't be giving players guaranteed game time. You can't do that.
No one should get that. No one should get that. Yeah,
I don't blame Moyes for that.
But again, it depends how it was said, doesn't it? Like, if it was, look, there's a path to the team. You work hard, you're in there. But yeah, no one, don't matter who you are, unless you're Kylian Mbappe, Messi, and Ronaldo, you shouldn't be guaranteed playtime. You know, maybe not so much Ronaldo now. Geese can't run. Concerned we get nothing from City or Palace. Be near the bottom of the table and catches up with time. Fixtures have not been kind. What would you say to that, mate? If we did lose to Palace next week, we definitely lose to City. When does it start getting twitchy?
I mean, it depends. You know, that to me, that completely depends on what we see in those games. If we see the same performance as yesterday and the same lineup as yesterday, after 3 games, I'll be saying, what is this man? He doesn't know what he's doing. If the new players are starting to be integrated into the squad and we start seeing a positive change, mate, it might take 10 games. You know, you've got to give it time. You have to be prepared to give it time to work. If after 5 games, we still look exactly the same, I'll be getting very, very worried. But I don't think we will. I think I saw enough yesterday to be confident that over the next few weeks, we'll start seeing a positive change. I really am.
We won't pay 40 million now because of PSR. Depends whether we get players out, mate.
There's no issues with PSR for us. No issues whatsoever.
Depends if we get some players out as well, doesn't it? And the thing is, they will know that next summer, Kudus is going for 85 million anyway. You know, so it will balance. And probably Paquetá will go as well. We might not go for 85 million, but if he gets cleared in January, you would expect Paquetá and probably Kudus to go next summer, which is what, 85 million for him. Paquetá, you might get 45, 50 million for him. That's the money back, more or less, isn't it? Lopetegui ought to be telling Tim and Sully to get Duran done, whatever it takes. I bet Tim is saying it, mate. I don't reckon it's just Tim needs to go and say, look, just pay this money for this geezer. We need to offload to get some dosh, and I hope we get Duran. I think a lot of people think that, mate. Thought Kilman was average, and yes, Git Duran should have went all in for him. I thought Kilman played well, mate. I thought Kilman played quite well. He made the recovery when Areola was in no man's land. You know, he sort of pressured him to force the chance wide. I thought he did quite well. And Villa didn't really have many clear cut, did they? Again, they had a little bit of poor finishing from them, but we contained them quite well.
Yeah, I mean, apart from, like you say, that one, that was Bailey should have scored. They had a couple just sort of dragged wide of the post, but they weren't really clear-cut chances. The only other clear-cut chance I could think of that they missed was the Duran one when he hit the side net in.
Yeah.
Just after we first come on. But no, you know, I saw enough positives not to be too worried just yet.
Young, hungry, strong, pacey will more than double our investment. Bowden says, bring it on. He will be with us for 2 years or so, score 20 goals a season, easy, so long as we play to his strengths. Here's a thought. If we don't sell the players we want to, and we loan, say, 4 of them out, then that's the money in the key for Duran. That's a really good idea, actually. Yeah, sell them with a loan fee. You know, like a Socek, give him like a 5 million loan fee. Maybe, you know, yeah, that's not a bad idea, no?
Yeah.
That's quite a clever idea, that. Yeah. Give the man time. Callum Marshall scored and got an assist against Huddersfield in the League Cup. And I think George Murphy came on against Millwall and got an assist.
For the winner. Assisted for the winner, yeah.
Yeah. I've got big hopes for George Murphy, but I think, you know, a year out on loan, it'd be good for him. The board have already quietly done small U-turn on concession tickets. If you care about fellow supporters and haven't already signed a petition today, 100% go and get that petition signed. Not even at the game. Caduce is not a left winger. Need bids to come in for our Deadwood. We do, mate. So I'm rushing through these comments now. Get Chalobah to play at back 3. Alvarez in front. Somerville, Paquetá, Rodriguez, Caduce, Duran, Bowen up front. Yeah. What do you make of that? There is a link there, and he's being trained with the kids, Chalobah. I don't mind that one, mate. I quite like him, mate. And a lot of Chelsea fans said he was one of their best centre backs last year.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I think if we were going to play a back 3, then yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, I suppose
not as a 2. Yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable Chalobah in a 2.
Yeah, and the thing is that the reason why I can't see him going to a back 3 is because we ain't got a right wing back. You know, obviously Wan-Bissaka's not a right wing back, and we haven't got a right wing back. So I don't think that's the plan. I think the plan is to play back 4. And I think
the sort of adapting game, you know, where Alvarez floats back in, and
I think there's enough cover there now. You know, Mavropanos had a good game yesterday. Kilman obviously is going to be the main man. Kilman and Tadibo is obviously going to be the first choice. Then you've got, I suppose, then you have only really got Mavropanos, Agurd. Alvarez can drop in. If Agurd goes, we do need one more. But is Chalobah going to come and sit on our bench?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a good point, mate. It's a good point. I bet he's on quite good money at Chelsea as well. 3-4-2-1. We should try that. Hello, folks. Unlucky last night. Yep, nice to see Villa fans in. Villa fan best team 1, mate. Is Rodriguez the new Harvard Norvite? Ooh. No. Yeah, he's only had one game, and obviously, you know, La Liga is a slightly slower pace than the Premier League. Listen, he didn't look fast himself, but I think it takes time. You know, sometimes, you know, he's not Rodri. You know, it's going to take him time to just get up to the pace. You know, I can't take that slight extra touch. Maybe I have to drop a little bit deeper because the players are a bit faster in this league. No, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? Ralph, it was a good game. Emery's tactically is very hard to break down, especially defensive, but a good game. Last one on it. What do you guys think of Onana's last night? Of course, man, Lamachi kept your midfield quiet. Yeah, he did, mate.
Yeah, I said earlier, you know, it seems like his job was basically to just sit on Paquetá, and he did that really well, and, you know, forced Paquetá to go deeper and deeper where he's less effective. Onana had a brilliant game, absolutely brilliant game. I still we'll see, you know, against that West Ham midfield. I don't think that's going to be, you know, a true seeing of how Onana's going to do. I still think, personally, I think he's a downgrade on Douglas Luiz. But yeah, he had a great game.
Yeah, mate, that's good midfield, though, mate. And Onana, McGinn, Tillemans, it's good midfield. They are a good side, Villa. Earthy set up the 4th goal for Bristol City to get Millwall. Right, just moving on slightly now. Right, next week is Palace, mate. As I said, we will discuss it. What changes do you want to see, mate? I think that's where we start. What do you want to see?
Pretty much the same as everyone else, I would imagine. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has to come in at right back if he's fit. Has to come in.
And he'll like it against his former club as well. Against his former club, big debut for him.
He has to come in. Fulkrug has to come in because Antonio can't play. Antonio's done. The only way I see, either Fulkrug comes in or Bowen plays up front.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Would you consider Bowen and Somerville on the left?
Yeah, they're the 2 options, but Antonio can't play. Apart from that, I mean, will he bring Todibo in? I don't know. I think he might wait on Todibo another week because Mavropanos had a good game. I think he might wait on him for another week. But yeah, for me, Wan-Bissaka and then has to come in and Antonio has to go. I think Souček will play, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. But what I was asking though is what would you do? So
what would I do?
If it was you, who would come in for Souček then? Because I probably you wouldn't play Souček.
No, I wouldn't. But then it is really difficult. Who do you bring in? Do you bring in Ward-Prowse for him? I probably would. Yeah, I'll bring in Ward-Prowse. It's hard one, isn't it? It's hard. That's still a scary midfield, though. Ward-Prowse, Paqueta, and Rodriguez is still a scary midfield.
Yeah, still. It's very slow.
We need Alvarez. Yeah, we need Alvarez.
We do. Hopefully, it's not that long before he's back. Hopefully, it's not that long. They've got a good side, though, mate. Eze, what's his name? The striker, Mateta, isn't it? Is that his name? Mateta or something like that. He's a good player. But what I'm hoping, mate, before the weekend happens, is that Anderson is linked away, their centre back, and obviously Mark Gahey is linked to Newcastle. So could that play into West Ham's hands if those 2 were to go by the weekend?
Yeah, possibly.
Fingers crossed. What do you expect? Do you think we should be able to give them a good game, and we need to, at least try and get something out of this game, don't we? They're a good side, Palace. I'm not underestimating them. They're a good side. They're a very good side, and they can hurt us.
No, 100%. We need to see, like I say, a couple more of the new guys come in. In particular, I think Wan-Bissaka is going to be massive to this team. I really do.
Yeah, I do.
He's really going to shore up that right side of defense, and he's going to free up Bowen or Kudus or whoever's playing on that right hand side. He's going to free them up. I think he's going to be massive coming into the team. And yeah, so that's what I expect. If Antonio starts, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it if Antonio starts. So I want to see Fulkrug start. Give him a chance. Give him a game. Let's see why we paid that money for him. And yeah, I expect us to give him a good game.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree. Last couple of bits then. We've only got to go for about another 5-10 minutes. What other transfers do you expect then, mate? I know we sort of touched it a little bit. Do you think many will leave and many will come in now, or do you think it might be a little bit frustrating now towards the end?
So, like I say, from what I've read, 2 more to come in. It looks like it's going to be Soler, which would be a great signing because at the moment, if Paqueta's out, we haven't got any creativity. So I think if Soler comes in, that's a good, competition backup for Paqueta. I think he'll come in, and then a striker. We absolutely need a mobile, fast striker. So hopefully that's Duran. We all saw past his audition Flying Colours. He's exactly what we need. So go and get him. If we can't get him, get someone like him. Throw 40 million at Samu Omorodioun.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Jonathan David.
Yeah, someone we need. We've got Fulkrug. We've got that option. Now we need the fast mobile striker. That's what we need now. So I think, yeah, absolutely. And then, like you say, if a Gerd goes, we do need another centre back because we're running out. But that's what I think.
Eze has not left. Elise has left. Elise went to Bayern Munich. What do you make about these ones, mate? But a lot of people are saying they bring Potts in over Souček and Ward-Prowse.
Throwing him straight in to start? No. Putting him on the bench? Absolutely. Throwing him in to start? No. Not for me.
He does look good though. I know it's only pre-season, but he has looked neat and tidy, hasn't he?
He has, but I just don't think you can just chuck him straight in like that. I don't to the Premier League. I think I just don't think that's a good idea. You know, they need to be eased in. 100%. I hope to see him involved this year. 100% play him in the cup games. You know, get him some minutes in the league. Definitely, if he's part of the team, if he's part of the squad. But to chuck him straight in the second game, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
personally, I would.
But no, I think it's fair enough, mate. Maybe the Bournemouth game, you know, the cup game potentially.
Yeah.
But I would like to see us go for the cups this year. So I'm saying that, but obviously I want our strongest lineup out. You know, you want to really go for it. Right, we're going to leave it there, guys, because otherwise we'd just be talking about nothing. You know, I think we've covered quite a lot today. Before you leave, guys, please hit the like button and subscribe. Get us out there. Follow our TikTok pages. They're all over there or over there. Can't remember. Until next time, guys, come on your irons, keep believing, subscribe to the West Ham World. Let's go.
Cheers.